Hey friends, it's graduation season. What does that mean for you? Friends, it's Pastor Mike from Fellowship Church. Always enjoy connecting with you midweek. Hope you're having a wonderful week. Hope you're enjoying this great weather. That thought for you again. It is graduation season. What does that mean for you? Now, friends, I'm a little bit older, but I still remember my high school graduation. What do you remember about those days for yourself? My high school graduation was over 40 years ago, but I still remember some of the events surrounding that season. I remember closing the locker door for the last time, and the last time walking out of that school building. I remember walking across the parking lot to my car because I drove to school that day. Those are some strange kind of thoughts, and maybe you have some of those same remembrances. I remember a graduation ceremony, which also, by the way, is called a commencement. And the word commencement literally means to begin, not to end. So graduation is not just a celebration of the end, it's the beginning of something. My own graduation ceremony was a little bit kind of awkward, surreal, because 4 of my classmates died in a car accident a few weeks before graduation. So it was a combination of celebration and mourning. And maybe you remember your own commencement graduation ceremony. But friends, even if you don't remember your high school or college graduation, you still have a commencement ceremony coming up. Because you see, the Bible in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 speaks about a commencement ceremony that we're all going to face in the future. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 tells us that we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. Now, that sounds just a little bit ominous, at least when I think of it, the judgment seat of Christ. But really, it's just a way of saying that when we're finished with this life on planet Earth, regardless of whether Jesus has returned yet or not, when our time on planet Earth is finished, we're going to appear before Jesus. And that idea of a judgment seat in the Bible simply means an opportunity to evaluate and make things right. It's kind of where the word righteousness comes from. So we're all going to appear before Jesus Christ, and there's going to be a commencement ceremony of part. Now, when we think about appearing before Jesus, of course, we're thinking about our own commitment to Jesus Christ as Savior and Lord. Seeing Jesus Christ as our Savior, well, that's a decision that we make in this life, trusting in Him for our salvation. But taking Jesus Christ as Lord, well, that's a little something else. Because when Jesus Christ is Lord, that conditions our life and our behavior. And oh, by the way, that 2 Corinthians 5 passage where it says we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that passage goes on to talk about the way that we lived our life. So that's the lordship question. Here's my thought for you again. When we appear before the judgment seat of Christ, what will Jesus say to you? Again, that's kind of a graduation ceremony, leaving one life, stepping into the next life. When you appear before the judgment seat of Christ, what will Jesus say to you? Will you hear His well done, good and faithful servant? That's kind of a diploma right there. There's your well done, good and faithful servant. You accepted Jesus Christ as your Savior and you lived with Him as your Lord, both parts of that. Or will you hear something else? Will your diploma or your completion sound a little different? Maybe you've never received Jesus Christ as Savior. Or maybe you received Him as Savior but never lived with Him as Lord. That's 2 parts to that, friends. So what will your own commencement look like? Because someday, friends, you're going to have a graduation ceremony. And I wonder if maybe a few moments thinking in advance of that these days would give you a chance to think a little bit about life and preparation and the things that we do, the things we don't do, the goals we've set, priorities, all that. I wonder how your life today will be reflected in your commencement ceremony when you appear before Jesus Christ. Good thoughts to think in advance, friends. And remember, it's graduation season. It's for all the high school seniors now, but someday it'll be your graduation season too. Friends, I hope that all makes sense to you. It's something that's been rattling around in my head for the past few weeks. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Hope you know that we love you and pray for you regularly. Have a great week. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.